know. So he says that, and then Jack the Ripper's like, we're in the deepest reaches where men meet themselves, or some stupid bullshit like that. Which is ironic that he's saying that to Dr. Jekyll, but you know. Anyways, I think he just means that, like, yeah, when you stop giving a fuck about anything, like, you know, the Devil's Rejects type of shit, like, you're just willing to do anything you want at any time, then you learn who you really are, or whatever fucking shit. Anyways, he goes out and he, like, kills somebody else. I think that's when he kills Black Annie, or, whatever. And then, I keep forgetting. Oh, meanwhile, Adeline and Mary Kelly are having a fucking romance, and then they go into the workhouse. They show this carriage coming into the workhouse, which is like a cage. It has all these women in it. It's kind of like something out of Planet of the Apes or some shit. And from my understanding, I was like, okay, we're gonna see some like sweatshop activity, but no, apparently there's like a section of the sweatshop that's like a fucking crazy house. So I'm just like, what is this? What is this? But whatever. Anyways, who gives a fuck? It's just all kind of like all the, like, you know, when like people are like, oh, I wish I could live in Victorian times, and then your history teacher's like, oh, fuck that. No, you don't. It was so horrible. And then they like start laying it on you, all these things that are so horrible. Oh, you know what's really funny? I forgot to mention this. Is that, God, this video is going so long. Maybe I'll break it in half. Anyways, the other funny thing is that when Adeline was in the bath, like, I just fucking, the only thing that goes through my head when I see that is, like, there was this show that we watched in, history, class. I almost said History Channel, good lord. History class, when I was, like, a junior in high school. The teacher showed it to us. It was called 1900s House. And basically, it's about, like, this, it's a reality show, basically, kind of, and it's, like, they select this family to live in this house. It's like this British show on BBC or something. And anyways, they choose a family, they select, all these families apply, they all want to be on TV, but they select this one family, and they're like, oh, this family has great, camaraderie, they really work together well and everything, so let's try to fuck them up and break them by throwing them in this fucking horrible house. So they throw them in this house, but basically they made the house up to function exactly like how it would have in the year 1900. And then they tell the people all the rules, they give them all the 1900s clothes, they're like, you have to live here for, I can't remember, like a year maybe, or maybe 6 months, I can't remember how long they're supposed to do it for, but for however long, they're only supposed to live as if it's 1900, and the only, like, the dad was like, a single breadwinner, like, I'm pretty sure the mom was like a stay-at-home mom or some shit, so they're like, okay, Dad, when you go to work, you're allowed to do your shit, like, at work, but when you come home, like, you gotta fucking be 1900s, and everyone has to be 1900s in this house, you know? And yeah, it fucking sucked. It fucking sucked. And like, I just remember that when they were talking about the bath, they had a bathtub, and the host, the guy who was telling them how to live like that, he was like, yeah, you know, like, you know, they didn't have heat and shit like that, so like, I can't remember exactly how it worked, but basically the short end of the deal is that in the end, you basically wind up with only like fucking, like 3 or 4 inches of water in the tub, and then, and it's fucking freezing. It's fucking freezing. And man, as a San Franciscan, I can tell you, like, I mean, I'm sure it gets even colder in England, because I'm pretty sure they get snow, right? But hey, if it's fucking cold in San Francisco, it's fucking cold in London. And, it's just, what's even the, like, trying to get in that freezing ass cold water, it ain't even worth it, man. You're better off, I mean, maybe you can, like, put a pot in the fireplace and, like, heat up, like, a kettle of water, because that's what we used to do when I was a little kid. Sometimes my mom would put a pot of water on the stove, and I mean, we did have hot water, but I guess it ran out or some shit like that. But yeah, my mom would put like a big like cooking pot on the stove, like a big like spaghetti cooking pot, and she would just boil water and then pour it in the bathtub. So you could do that, you know. But anyways, I'm just saying that when I see Adeline in the bathtub like that, I'm just like, bitch, you ain't comfortable. Fuck that. Maybe that's why he's trying to get so high. Maybe you gotta be that high in order to be okay with that fucking cold ass water. And you only get like A tiny bit. Enough to fill up this cup. Maybe a little more than that. But it ain't even worth it, man. You're better off just like filling up a bowl of water, getting a rag, and just ragging yourself down, man, because... Anyways, where am I at with this? What was I about to say before I got on that stupid topic? God, I don't fucking remember. I'll come back to it, whatever I was... Oh, so I mentioned, the lobotomizer joined the Masons. He was in the little Mason thing. And then the mutton chop guy was watching from the balcony, and he was basically shit-talking about the lobotomizer. He was like, yeah, I guess he's smart, but he's smart in that, like, stupid way, because he's of the lower class, but he's middle class, but he's lower than us, you know? It's just shit-talking, you know, and shit like that, like how they do it. Anyways, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, I remember. Okay, so Adeline and fucking Mary Kelly went to, the fucking crazy house wing of the sweatshop factory, and and this is where I also kind of got confused, because I was pretty sure that the first girl that they lobotomized, it was just a rando. Like, I'm pretty sure they were just showing that they could do it, you know, and being like, remember this because it's gonna be part of the story. But I'm pretty sure that girl wasn't any. Oh, and the other funny. Oh, I can't believe I forgot to say this. The other really funny thing, which I just tickled me no end, was that when they were talking about, like, why the girl's in the crazy house in the first place, they're just like, yeah, she's very hysterical and, psychotic and violent and shit like that, and he's like, she has, like, intense feelings of being persecuted. Why would she ever feel like that, you know? It's just like, that's what I'm talking about with the satire. That's why I was okay with it, because I'm just like, okay, I see you, you know? That was funny. And then, anyways, so Adeline and, Mary Kelly, they go to this place, and, they see their friend, the one who was, like, dating Prince Albert or whatever, and, I got the milk skin. Gross. Shit's fucking nasty. Humans are supposed to drink milk anyway. Anyways. So, yes, the two of them, they do that thing that kind of like what, Pam and, Bernard were doing in The Office, where they pretend like they're married, and they go in there, and they were, like, kind of, like, snipping at each other, like, and this fucking Adeline was trying to be like, bitch, stay outside while I go in by myself. And she's like, fuck that, bitch. She's like, if, you don't let me come in, then I'm gonna fuck up your job. And he's like, okay, fine, you can come in. He's not very authoritative, which makes me like him, because he's pretty soft-spoken like that. I can't remember, there's one other time in the movie. Oh, I remember, it was when they went to the funeral. This is like the first time he approached the hookers, right? And they were all at the funeral of like the first chick that got killed. And all of them were fucking being bitches to him. They were all being fucking assholes. They were like, I want to show you Quincy. Oh, you can't see him because he's so dark. Look at him. Quincy. You can't even see him. He's like literally like a black hole. It looks like I'm just petting darkness right now. Anyway, I better hurry this up because people could be home at any minute. This is run away so long. I'm definitely gonna chop this thing up. But anyways, so yeah, so he went up to them and he was just trying to innocently ask some questions. Oh shit, that fucking startled me. Here, now I'm done with my milk. I can put this up against the milk cup. Anyways, he was walking up to him. He was innocent. He wasn't being an asshole at all. He was innocently just being nice and trying to ask them, like, hey, I can help you out. Like, why don't I help you? You know, like, I want to catch this killer and shit. And then all of them were just being bitches. They were just like, oh, fuck you, we ain't gonna tell you shit. And it's like, fine, what the fuck? Like, whatever you, bitch, I didn't do shit. And then only Mary Kelly was kind of like, well, you're not gonna help anyway. And it's just like, I just said I wanted to help you, bitch. Like, I said I wanted to help you. Like, why do you think, like, I can't, you know? I mean, I guess they're like, oh, well, we don't trust the system, fuck the system, which fair enough. But at the same time, it's like, look, you didn't even give this guy a chance. You didn't even give him one chance. And see, this is what I like, is because if this was a modern cop show, he would have been all up in their face, or he would have given them some attitude, like, fucking, like, oh, well then don't come crying to me when it happens to you, you little cunt, and blah blah blah. You know, like, they always gotta be all fucking alpha and shit in these fucking shows, which I fucking hate. But no, he was a good beta. He was a nice beta dude, and he just kind of took it, and he was just like, okay, fine, whatever. And, he didn't say, like, oh, you need me. He didn't say, you have to listen to me, or anything. He didn't try to be bossy in any type of way, so I like that. But it was funny because when they got to this, when they came into this place, he was trying to boss her around a little bit, but then she basically just told him, like, you know, fuck that, and then they went in together, and then he was kind of shading her a little bit, like, I can't remember, oh, because they were trying to pretend like they were together, and then she was saying some shit, and he was just like, shut the fuck up, bitch, or something like that, because they were pretending like they were the couple, like, I think that was the idea, and he was pretending, like, to be kind of rude to her, so that, like, they could, you know, play off their role, but at the same time, I think he did kind of enjoy being a bitch to her a little bit, because she was a bitch to him. But that's how these stupid ass movies work. So anyways, they go in there into the straw head area, and then they see, what's her face? The other girl, the one that, was dating Albert, and she has, like, the front half of her head shaved. It's really weird. And, she's just, like, she's supposed to be crazy, but the way that, I mean, I don't know, crazy, lobotomized, I don't know, whatever. She's out of it, basically. She's not herself. And, but the way they demonstrate that is funny, because it's like, she's actually still, like, pretty fucking coherent, like, she's fine, she just kind of, like, but she just kind of talks like this, she's, like, looking up in the sky, and then, but she's not, like, she still tells them everything they need to know. It's just that the way she demonstrates her fucked upness is that, like, she just repeats everything a lot. Like, instead of being, they're like, oh, what about your baby? Instead of her being like, yeah, my baby, I miss her, she's just like, my baby, my baby, my baby. And then they're like, he's like, oh, who's your baby's daddy? And she's like, he's a prince, he's a prince, he's a prince. Like, she kind of says everything 3 times, you know? And, then, she's like, I'm a queen, and stuff like that. And then they're like, okay, so they go to this museum, and they're looking at all these pictures of royalty and shit like that. Oh, and I forgot to mention also, in Jack the Ripper's house, they had all these pictures on the, he had one picture on the wall that was like, you know, that famous, like, surgery picture of all, like, the guild of surgeons or whatever. And then, but he also had, like, all these pictures of, like, the Habsburgs or whoever that family is, where they were so fucking inbred and shit like that. All these, like, kind of deformed looking people. And, anyways, then, they go to this museum, they look at all these pictures of royalty, and Adeline's like, oh, I want to show you this picture, and he's like, da-da-da, and then it's fucking Prince Albert, and, Mary Kelly's like, oh my god, I know him, and then they try to put in this little side plot about her, like, posing nude for some painting or some shit like that, but they never really go into it that much. She just mentions it twice. She's just like, oh yeah, somebody painted me nude. I'm just like, okay, whatever. And then, oh, and they said that when Prince Albert, he got secretly married to, whatever her face is. I can't remember, I think I'm gonna call her Sue or something, but she's pretty much out of the movie now, so whatever, that chick, you know. When they got married, they would say all the hookers came to the wedding and shit like that, and she's just like, oh, the killer saw us all at the wedding, so he's killing us one by one from what we saw, like, he saw us there, you know, and shit. And then, I can't remember, her and Adeline go on a date. They go on, like, a dinner date, and, like, and then, she's, like, eating something. She's like, yeah, I eat a lot. She's like, one day I'm gonna be fat, shit like that. And then she's like, oh,